Peace be upon you and welcome to Pot of Food. If you guys grow pumpkins or bought pumpkin from the store, I'm going to show you in this video how to break it down and how to make pumpkin puree from scratch. So if you're curious, definitely watch the end. Also, when I was cutting open this pumpkin, I found something very surprising inside that even I didn't expect. So if you guys are new here, please make sure that you like and subscribe and comment down below if you guys grow pumpkins or if you guys just bought one from the store and are curious on how to break it down. Okay, so the first step that we're going to do is cut our pumpkin in half. Then we're going to move on to getting rid of the seeds and stuff that's in the inside. While I was doing this, I actually found one of my pumpkin seeds was growing.
Wow. Whoa.
Let's plant that.
Wow.
I would take.
Yeah, we can save this and show mommy later, inshallah.
I'm gonna take it down, okay?
You wanna?
I'm gonna take it down and
Okay, carefully.
put it in water.
Okay.
I have never seen anything like that in my life before when I was cutting pumpkins. Let me know in the comments if that can actually grow and turn into an actual pumpkin or if it's no good. Anyway, what we're going to do now is we're just going to scrape down the sides of the pumpkin and collect all of the seeds and extra pumpkin in the middle. Then we're just going to scoop it out onto this tray and we'll come back to it later after I have washed it and cleaned it. Pumpkin seeds are actually very good for your health and have several health benefits. But for now, we're just going to make pumpkin puree. So, back to the pumpkin, we're going to cut it down and break it into smaller pieces. Here I have a serrated knife and it is a little bit bendy, so if you guys have a better knife, definitely use it. But we're just going to cut the pumpkin down into smaller chunks to make it easier to work with. Once we have cut the pumpkin down completely, you can also cut it into smaller chunks than what I'm doing. I found out later that it probably would be easier to break it down into a bunch of little pieces because the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to be removing the skin. The pumpkin skin actually can be very hard to remove, so the smaller you can get the pieces, the better and easier it should be to get it off of the pumpkin. We're actually not going to be baking this pumpkin to turn it into pumpkin puree, but instead we're going to cook it in a pot. So to do that, we have to make sure that we remove all of the skin before. So what we're going to do is we're just going to use a knife and carefully remove the hard shell of the pumpkin. We want to get rid of all of the outer pumpkin shell and just be left with the nice smooth flesh on the inside. Once you remove all of the skin, you should be left with just a nice smooth piece of pumpkin. We're going to cut this up into smaller chunks so that it will be easier to work with. While I cut up this pumpkin, let me know in the comments, what will you guys be making with this pumpkin puree? Inshallah, I will be making a delicious pumpkin pie with this, and I will be posting the video on my channel as soon as I make it, inshallah. Comment down below if you guys are excited for that video, and let me know what you guys will be making with pumpkin puree. Also, to everyone who is still watching right now, I want to say congratulations. According to something that I have seen earlier, most of the planet doesn't have much of an attention span bigger than a goldfish. So if you guys are still watching, you guys actually are good learners. Thank you guys for watching, and I really appreciate it. Pumpkin actually has so many health benefits for your body, and also if you guys are looking for the detailed instructions and full recipe and measurements to make pumpkin puree, I will link that in the description box. I made cute and adorable recipe cards that are easy to follow with all the information and health benefits for you guys if you're interested. You can check it out on my store, link in the description box. Now that our pumpkin is nicely chopped, we're going to move on to the next step. For the next step, we're going to get out our previous pumpkin seeds, and I'm going to show you. I just washed them really quick, and if you guys want, you can go ahead and toast them in the oven. I'm just going to do that real quick and save them for later. So moving on, I'm going to get out a nice pressure cooker, and I'm just going to fill it with about 7 cups of water. I'm going to add in half of my pumpkin that I just chopped. I still saved the other half of my pumpkin for later. I'm only going to cook half of it today. So I'm going to add all of that pumpkin in, and we do not want the water to cover the pumpkin. We just want it to be enough so that it doesn't burn. So it's okay if you have pumpkin sticking out above the water line. I'm cooking my pumpkin in a pressure cooker today, but if you only have a pot, don't worry, it should totally work for your pumpkin too. It just might take a little bit longer. I'm going to cover this pumpkin with a lid, and I'm going to pressure cook it for about 20 to 30 minutes. But of course, you guys should check after you're done boiling it for about 20 to 30 minutes just to make sure it's soft. Poke a fork into it or a knife just to make sure it's fully cooked and ready for the next step. While the pumpkin was boiling, I went ahead to make my pie crust because inshallah I really want to make some pumpkin pie later. And then, once the pumpkin was fully boiled, now we're ready to move on to the final step. Here I have my very soft, nicely boiled pumpkin, and we're going to get out a blender and we're going to puree this pumpkin into a nice, smooth pumpkin puree. That's basically all there is to it, but first, I'm going to show you one extra step that I usually do. I like to press out any of the extra water just in case, just to make sure that we get the best quality pumpkin puree. I'm just going to push down on the pumpkin and then drain out the water. And we're just going to blend this now. And we should have perfect, beautiful pumpkin puree ready to make pumpkin pie, pumpkin bread, and any of the other delicious fall desserts that you guys like to make with pumpkin. Maybe even pumpkin soup. Let me know in the comments what you guys like to make with pumpkin puree. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys like this video, make sure that you like and subscribe and comment down below what video I should do next time. I would love to hear from you guys.